Hi, this is Kevin from Veloxity. We're very excited to have released a new feature today within Veloxity CRM, and that's the ability to enable people you're sending an email to schedule with you on your calendar. Now, there are other solutions that provide this product. One thing that's unique about us is we actually created all the functionality within Veloxity. That means you don't need a third-party solution like Calendly or one of the other calendar sharing solutions that would involve some setup and configuration. So we've done it all inside Veloxity. Makes it easy. So how exactly does this look? So I've already taken the liberty of sending myself an email to schedule. So here's an email, but the key is this link right here. So if I receive this email and I wanted to schedule with this person, I would click this link and it would expose to me their calendar with some criteria as well. I'll get into that in a moment. But I could then go ahead and pick a time to schedule with Kevin for this intro call, and it would be 15 minutes in duration. And I would just pick the time here, right? So how do you do this? Well, once the system is configured, it's very easy to send an email like this. You can just click the email button and pick the person, say initial call. Me. But the new thing that you didn't have before, if you're a Veloxity CRM user, is this add schedule link. So you just click that button, and now you have that in your email, and then you would just send this email, and the person would get an email that looked just like the one I showed you. Now, of course, it's more efficient if you can set up templates that actually do this, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But the first thing you have to do as a Veloxity CRM user is set up your availability. So you can't just let someone schedule it like 2 in the morning on Saturday, right? Unless you actually work at 2 in the morning on Saturday. So how do you set up these different time slots that are available? And not only that, how do you handle different types of events? Well, what if it's a call versus a web meeting versus an in-person meeting? So you have to set up a different event for each type. And the way you do that is you go to your profile, which I've done, and you'll see a new tab here called My Availability. And I've already have one row here that is for that initial call. What if I want to do a demo for someone? That's a different type of thing. It's not a phone call, it's a web meeting. So I have to set up a different type of event for that. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So you can say add, and then we'll say Veloxity demo. And they would see that on their calendar once this event was, if they scheduled with me. You could also put, more details that will also sync to the calendar. So we note that here. These will be synced to the calendar. These notes do not sync to the other person's calendar. These are only exist inside Veloxity CRM, so the other person will not see this. Now here's where you can pick the different types of events that you want to make yourself available to be scheduled for. And in this case, we're going to do a web meeting, and we use Google Meet. If you were using Zoom or Teams, were configured in your system, that would be available here as well. All right, so the question is, how long is this going to be? Let's say our demos are an hour long, so we'll leave that. You can also put a time range on which this thing I'm setting up is available for people to use. And then you start setting up each day of the week. Now, typically, I don't want to do demos on Monday morning. So I'll say on Monday, from like 1:30 till 5, someone can schedule me within this window of time. But on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, pretty much all day will work for me. So let me show you how you can do that. So, I prefer not to do them over lunch. So we'll go up to 12, and then we'll start again at 1 and go till 5. And I can replicate this across Wednesday and Thursday. And Friday, I just want to do mornings on Friday. So we'll do Friday morning, let's say till 12, okay? So now we set up a schedule that I'm willing to have someone schedule with me for demos. I can also set up buffer times. Like if I don't want to do back-to-back-to-back demos, I can say, well, let's leave at least an hour before and after a demo And the system Veloxity is going to look at your calendar. So not, even your personal things, like if you schedule a doctor appointment, the system will know that, and it will not make that available as a time slot for someone to schedule. How much in advance do you want to know? Well, for a demo, I'd like to know probably 3 days in advance so I can prepare. And what time increments do you want them to schedule? Let's say they could schedule at 30-minute time increments. That means 1, 1:30, 2, 2:30, etc. And how far in advance can someone book it? So let's say a month in advance, not longer than that. If I say add event, now that's available here. And again, if we went to send an email, I'll go back to my record and hit email. And this time we'll skip right to the add scheduling. Now the system recognizes there's two kind of things that can be scheduled with you, and you pick the one you want. In this case, we'll pick the Veloxity demo. And it inserts a link, and then this would go to the calendar according to the criteria that we just established for our availability. Now, what if you want to set up an email template that does this? If you're an admin, you have to be a Veloxity admin. You go into the app setup, CRM setup, to the email template section. You'll create a new template, and we'll call this contact meeting template. And we'll restrict it to the contacts only type. We could, let's just say initial call. And of course, for templates, you can insert field values from the record you're on. So like their first name. So it says that's like a placeholder of their first name. So I'm going to precede that with hi. And I'll postfix it with some exclamation points. And now I can insert, if we go down to the bottom here, I can add a schedule link in here like this. And I'll say schedule. Oh. If I want to sign it by myself with my name, I can actually also insert from the user, which will be me, my first name. Okay. So now we should have a nice looking email that would go out. Now you might ask, when I pick the schedule link, it didn't ask me to put in like which of those two events you want to pick from, the initial call, the other. That's because the template can be used by any user, and every user can set up their own events and their availability. So what's going to happen is when the user goes to use this template, it'll prompt them to pick from their own list of events and availability that they've set up, and then it'll insert that at that time, and you'll see that right here. So I'm going to go ahead and create this template, and we'll go back out to contact that I was on myself, and whoops, not on my profile, contact record, and say email. And I'm going to pick the template, and there was only one template in the system, so it picked it by default. And the template recognized that there's an intro call and Veloxity demo set up for myself, the Veloxity Kevin, and it's asking which one of these do you actually want to use in that link. So we'll put an intro call one. Now you see it says, hi Kevin, please schedule with me below. Click here, and best with Kevin, the Veloxity CRM Kevin user. So that templates would probably be the most common way you want to use this, because it's less manual work, especially for common emails you might send out, like setting up a demo or having an initial call or thank you for your purchase kind of things. You would set up templates for all these purposes that makes it quick and efficient. So this reduces the time now for setting up meetings, because typically you're coordinating with someone, or were you available Thursday or Friday? I have some time, on Wednesday afternoon. They have to look at their calendar. You have to look at your calendar, and there could be some back and forth. That's very inefficient. This makes it much easier. You just put this link in, let them look at their calendar, and once they pick something on the calendar, it'll actually put it on both of your calendars. So it puts it on their calendar and your calendar, and you're good to go. So we hope you like this feature. This is available, by the way, in the Professional Edition and the Enterprise Edition. So it's in those two editions. So if you have one of those, you will have this feature there already today.